Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of February 2016 General Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This month, early in the month, we have got a new moon taking place. Now, this new moon will be speaking in harmony with Saturn in your sign and also with Uranus in super harmonious position to you, fellow fire sign Aries. So we've got this wonderful harmonious configuration playing out, and for you, this new moon is representing new opportunities, surprising and lucky breaks, and wonderful turnarounds happening on an instant that ultimately lead to greater security, greater stability, and a real sense of grounding. Like, okay, you have your starting point. Now you can grow. Now you know where you are. And now you can start to build. These are going to be the feelings that come up thanks to what begins to present itself to you at this new moon. This new moon has a few different implications to it. So one is it represents your siblings, cousins, neighbors. Okay, so it represents these types of relationships that you may have. So it is going to be these people, where it applies, it is going to be these people who are part of facilitating some wonderful developments for you that lead to greater love, and I'll talk about that in the love focused horoscope, but also just lead to greater joy, greater fulfillment, greater creative fulfillment as well. And as I said, this is lucky break that ultimately moves you towards greater happiness in every area of life. Trust the random interaction, because this particular new moon also says to me clear as day, right place, right time, right person. Just running into somebody randomly, or just being introduced to somebody, not even realizing who it is, and it turns out to be, you know, some bigwig who really can help take your whatever, your career, your vision, your art, your voice to the next level, or to a larger level at that. So this is a very fortunate configuration that does suggest that people are going to be there for you. People are just going to show up for you, new people and otherwise, that become part of you experiencing greater happiness. This particular new moon also happens to be in a part of the sky that has to do with things like workshops, day courses, skill building workshops as well, lectures, book readings. And this part of the sky also has an implication that has to do with, yes, learning. And this is also connected to broadcasting. It has to do with the media. And seeing the implications of this particular configuration, it does suggest to me one very possible that one of this right place, right time moments might actually take place within a learning environment. So definitely the place that you want to be, okay? So if there's any kind of book signing happening, or a workshop that is based on something that you are interested in, go. It'll be good all around. It'll benefit you in a lot of different ways. So this is good all around. Also, as I said, media. So this has to do with, if you're in the media, getting some really lucky breaks, some really great scoops, some really great insights, and showcasing your work in a way that is noticed in a bigger way. Also, this could just be, regardless of what you do, particularly if you're a writer or a speaker, this could be media attention. So media, positive media that leads to greater and greater opportunity that you can actually use as a jumping off point. A little bit of a sideline here, a little different, I know, but I remember, like, way back in the day, like with the first couple of seasons of American Idol, Kelly Clarkson. And I remember, like, a couple of seasons in, somebody said to her, oh yeah, what do you think of this person get eliminated and that person? And she said, you know, well, now they've got the publicity, people know about them, and they can decide what they're going to do with it. They can decide where they're going to go with it. And as I looked at this sky, it is kind of like that. Like, you're going to get the publicity, you'll get the notice. Now it's up to you to decide where you're going to go with that, how you're going to showcase that, how you're going to ensure that that builds and builds, so that you continue with that momentum that is likely to find you at that time, so that you continue with that attention that is likely to find you at that time. This to me does represent positive occurrences all around and positive conversations as well. So trust your ability to express what it is that you have to say, that you're meant to say in any given moment, and you will find supporters, and you will also find that that voice, that opinion, that intention being magnified that much more. As we move towards the later part of the month, we have got a full moon happening. Now this full moon is happening at the very top of your sky. So this is a very important point of the sky, if you will, an important position. And the very top of your sky has to do with career. It has to do with creating a sense of accomplishment, a sense of self-respect that comes from achievement, but also on a practical level, this also has to do with like your bosses, your relationships to your bosses as well. So we've got this full moon happening, and I'm calling this the truth moon, okay? Because this is really about, in many ways, this is about showing us where we are, getting us to acknowledge what we already know. That's key, acknowledging what you already know. There isn't anything with this moon really, to me, as I look at it, I'm not seeing like these, you know, like a monkey wrench or a whole other surprise factor really. What I'm seeing as the dominant energies with this particular full moon have a lot more to do with the fact that the Sun and Neptune are standing across this particular full moon. And so this ultimately does say to me, and this very powerful symbolism, and Saturn speaking to this full moon, it does say that I do think, especially where it comes to matters of career, this is going to be you looking at where you are and why and what is not working is really what it comes down to. Either what's not working or where it is that you might have to, you know, do what you need to get honest with yourself so that you can start producing more and producing at a higher level. Where it is maybe that you're not living up to your potential, where it is that maybe you're living well below it, and why is that? And what can you do to fill in that gap? So on the one hand, it's asking more of yourself, but on the other hand, it's also looking at where you are and being very honest with yourself. So there's a few ways that this can manifest. As I said, if you're not living up to your potential, this is where you're going to, don't beat up on yourself, please, right? Don't get upset with yourself. But this is you fully owning that and saying, okay, I'm not. What's the wisdom here? What's happening here? And working that out, healing that, so that gets out of the way and you're able to more naturally and joyously tap into that potential that you have. So that's one way that this energy can certainly manifest. But another way that this energy can manifest has to do with, as I said, bosses, right? And this can be some mixed messages from a boss. This can be expecting and thinking one thing and then it turning out to be something else. And so I have been telling you guys in the weekly horoscopes as we've been going along, I've been saying that Mercury has been retrograde in a financial part of the sky. And we also have, in this particular top of the sky, we do have Jupiter in this part of the sky. And ultimately what this says to me is that you're going in a positive direction. You're going in a direction that ultimately is going to lead you towards a career and career success that feels truly rewarding and meaningful to you, and that in some way shapes your success for a very long time to come. Sometimes that does it very directly, but sometimes as part of the mystery, it might take you another direction so that you can get clear on what direction it is that you are meant to go in. So this is going to be part of that process and part of that understanding. It looks like a truth you're going to admit to yourself. You're going to want to make a change. Now, how are you going to go about doing that? What is it that you need to do? How is it that that needs to change? There are a whole lot of implications here with this. Also, it could involve moving, possible. It might not involve moving, but you're telling yourself it does. And as I said, Mercury has been retrograde in a financial part of the sky. And in the weekly horoscopes, I've been saying to Sages, if you get a job during this time, or you start a job while Mercury is in retrograde season, in shadow or retrograde, then it isn't going to be what you think. Like on the other side of it, you are going to realize that this is something different than you first thought. Sometimes that can be better. Sometimes it might not, or it might need an adjustment on your part. So this is you at the late part of the month, a week before the month ends, having this full moon and getting that understanding that the opportunities and the things that were coming up for you with the Mercury retrograde season that has been taking place since late December, those opportunities, those progresses that you made now are revealing themselves. What is the actuality? What does the work really require? What does the job really require? What it is that you really want to do? Where it is that you are not fulfilled? Where it is that you could actually either be more fulfilled, or where it is that you need to get out of the way and let greater quality come forward from you. Allow yourself to enjoy the successes that you've had. Your answers will be uniquely your own. So either you're going to decide to make a change, or you're going to decide to buckle down and say, no, this is the path and this is the way that I am going. Ultimately, it's truth moon, right? It's a moon of honesty. It isn't going to bring anything that you don't know already, that you haven't been feeling already. And this realization, this acceptance of what is one of the surest ways to make sure that you are moving your life and moving yourself in a direction that is of accomplishment and of success, defined by you, making it that much more meaningful and that much more joyous to experience.